to take the next big step in the NFL? Welcome to Lions News Fan Report, your go-to channel for the latest updates and analysis on everything Lions. Today, we're diving into Aaron Glenn's impact in Detroit and exploring how his future might intertwine with the Saints. Stick around to find out what's next and how it could affect the team. Aaron Glenn, the Lions' defensive coordinator, has been turning heads across the league. His work in Detroit, especially this season, proves he's more than just a popular off-season name. Even without Defensive Player of the Year favorite Aiden Hutchinson, the Lions have excelled defensively, overcoming setbacks like roster injuries. This resilience bolsters Glenn's case for taking on an even bigger role in the NFL by 2025. But there's an intriguing twist: Glenn's history with the Saints. From 2016 to 2020, he was a key figure in the team's defensive transformation, developing talents like Marshawn Lattimore and Marcus Williams while helping New Orleans reach the playoffs 4 consecutive seasons. It's no surprise his name has surfaced as a potential returnee, especially given Mickey Loomis' preference for familiar faces. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler has already pegged Glenn as a possible target for the Saints next year. Glenn's journey with the Lions has had its ups and downs. After a challenging defensive rebuild, he faced heavy criticism in 2022, particularly after a collapse in the NFC Championship game. However, this season tells a different story. The Lions' defense is now among the league's best, ranked second overall, despite losing Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport. This remarkable turnaround hasn't gone unnoticed, and the upcoming head coach interview cycle in 2025 could be pivotal for Glenn's career. The connection between Glenn and Saints head coach Dennis Allen adds an intriguing element. Could New Orleans opt to swap defensive leadership for a familiar face? Considering the Saints' recent struggles, targeting Glenn might be a logical move to revitalize the team. Now, we want to hear from you. Should Aaron Glenn seize this opportunity to return to the Saints, or should he continue building his legacy with the Lions? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to Lions News Fan Report for more insights and updates. What makes this situation even more compelling is Glenn's growing reputation as one of the league's most respected defensive coordinators. His work has not only revitalized the Lions' defense, but also proven his unique ability to develop talent and overcome adversity. This raises a critical question. Can the Lions maintain their current defensive success if Glenn departs? The answer depends on how much Detroit is willing to invest in keeping Glenn and providing him with the tools to continue building an elite defense. Head coach Dan Campbell undoubtedly values Glenn's contributions. However, with increasing interest from other franchises, Detroit might struggle to retain a coordinator who's clearly ready to lead his own team as a head coach. On the flip side, Glenn's return to the Saints wouldn't just be an obvious choice for New Orleans, but also a strategic move to break out of their recent slump. If Glenn can replicate his prior success in New Orleans, he could be the missing piece to guide the Saints back to the playoffs. His familiarity with the organization and history with GM Mickey Loomis only strengthened the likelihood of this scenario. One thing is clear: Aaron Glenn is in a unique position, valued by the Lions and sought after by other teams. His ability to transform struggling defenses into formidable units places him at the top of the list for head coach candidates. As the Lions push for a playoff berth this season, the defense's performance under Glenn's leadership could be the deciding factor for his future, whether in Detroit or elsewhere. As a Lions fan, I believe Aaron Glenn is a cornerstone of the team's defensive success. It's impossible to overlook the impact he's had in transforming an inconsistent unit into one of the league's best this season, even amid adversity. His leadership, adaptability, and ability to get the best out of his players are rare qualities that shine through in the Lions' resilience. That said, I understand Glenn is at a career crossroads that naturally attracts attention from other franchises. Losing him would be a significant blow for the Lions, especially as we're on the verge of solidifying our identity as a strong, competitive team. However, if Glenn decides to accept a head coach role, possibly with the Saints, it would be hard to fault him. He deserves the opportunity and is well equipped to excel in a larger role. The real question is, how can the Lions prepare for a future without Glenn? In my view, the best approach would be to ensure his defensive philosophy and system are deeply ingrained within the organization. This way, even if he leaves, his successor can continue his work seamlessly. Additionally, the organization should demonstrate a commitment to Glenn's growth, perhaps by offering him a more prominent role in strategic decision-making. As a fan, I'd love to see Glenn stay with us. He's a leader who inspires confidence and elevates the team's performance. We're only beginning to see the full impact of his work. But if he does move on, All we can do is hope the success he's built in Detroit endures and the team continues to evolve. If we aspire to be an elite team, we must be ready to face these changes without losing our way. Together, they have fostered a culture of resilience and commitment that is reshaping the franchise. Losing Glenn wouldn't just mean losing a great defensive coordinator. It would be a blow to the chemistry that is transforming the Lions into a respected and competitive team. At the same time, as a fan, I acknowledge that the NFL is a league of opportunities for players and coaches alike. If Glenn leaves, especially for a team like the Saints, it will further validate that the Lions are on the league's radar. Our talents, not only on the field but off it as well, are being recognized. In a way, that's something to take pride in. What truly concerns me, however, is maintaining the defensive progress Glenn has brought. Before his arrival, the Lions' defense was inconsistent and often the team's Achilles heel. Glenn changed that, instilling an aggressive, focused, and efficient mindset. To sustain this momentum, the organization needs to plan ahead, perhaps by promoting someone from Glenn's staff or bringing in a coordinator with a similar philosophy. As a fan, it's hard not to feel emotionally connected to the idea of keeping Glenn. He's part of what makes this team special right now. However, I also understand that becoming a head coach is the natural next step for him, and I genuinely wish him success wherever he goes. Finally, my plea as a Lions fan is for the organization to be proactive. Show Glenn that he is valued through both his salary and his influence in the team's strategic planning. And if the inevitable happens, ensure there's a well-thought-out transition to preserve the incredible work he has done. We're building something great, and whether Glenn stays or not, the Lions must remain focused on making the playoffs and perhaps contending for a Super Bowl. That's the dream we all share as fans, and we want to see it become a reality.